2021 was strange from the second the clock hit midnight. A virtual ball drop to a mostly empty Times Square, setting the stage for a year dominated by the ongoing pandemic. 2021 saw more coronavirus cases worldwide than 2020. The U.S. death toll surpassing the number of U.S. soldiers lost in World War II. But huge strides have also been made as a national vaccine crusade and vaccine debate rages. Right now, close to 62% of Americans are fully vaccinated. But a new, ominous variant called Omicron is spreading like wildfire and threatens to hold back hard-fought gains. It took only 6 days for something to replace COVID as the top story. An attack on the U.S. Capitol by an angry mob of protesters fueled by President Trump's claims of election fraud. The bloodshed claimed 5 lives, more than 700 people arrested.
The attack was done for Donald Trump, at his instructions, and to fulfill his wishes.
It also led to an historic second impeachment trial of President Trump just 1 week before he left office. He was ultimately acquitted.
Preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
History made with the inauguration of Joe Biden as president and Kamala Harris as the vice president. Harris, the first woman of Black and South Asian descent to hold the office.
It's time for American troops to come home.
2021 saw the end of America's longest war, and it wasn't pretty. After 20 years of fighting in Afghanistan, the pullout ended in bedlam at Kabul's airport. Thousands desperately attempted to flee the Taliban takeover, the Biden administration taking the heat for it. The fight for racial justice burned bright in 2021. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was convicted of murdering George Floyd, who begged for his life with Chauvin's knee on his neck. A Georgia jury found 3 white men guilty of murder in the fatal shooting of 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery. Arbery was shot and killed after jogging through their neighborhood. Another racially charged case ended in acquittal. Illinois teenager Kyle Rittenhouse found not guilty in the shooting of 3 men following rioting in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and the police shooting of Jacob Blake. The jury finding the shootings with an assault rifle were self-defense.
We are shoring up the structure on the inside as we continue to tunnel in to locate additional survivors.
2021 saw tragedies like the condominium collapse in Surfside, Florida. 98 lives lost when 12 stories came crashing down in April from structural problems as residents slept in their beds, the grim search for survivors in the rubble gripping the nation. A frigid February cold snap hit the nation hard, but nowhere harder than Texas, where temperatures plunged 50 degrees below normal. There was snow, the demand for heat causing the power grid to fail and pipes to burst. Millions were in the cold and dark. Almost 300 lost their lives. There were lighter moments, like all-time great Tom Brady winning a record 7th Super Bowl in a Tampa Bucs uniform, a marvel at the age of 43. Billionaires Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos dueled it out in a private race to space. Branson getting there a week earlier, but Bezos reaching a higher orbit, sparking a debate on where space really starts. If that wasn't enough, there was Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner, getting to boldly go to space for real, becoming the oldest human to ever reach the final frontier at the age of 90. And let's not forget the return to the Red Planet, NASA's Mars rover safely touching down to begin its 2-year mission to explore the planet's surface, sending back amazing pictures. 2021 saw its share of shocking crimes. A 21-year-old went on a shooting spree at 3 Atlanta area spas, killing 8 people. 6 of the victims were women of Asian descent. It ignited a deeper look into what constitutes a hate crime.
Doing some morning yoga.
A crime with Long Island ties captivated the nation and much of the world. A month-long search for missing Gabby Petito ended when her body was found in a Wyoming national park. Her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, drove the van they were traveling in back to the house of his Florida parents, only to vanish himself. Ultimately, he was found dead in a Florida nature preserve of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The nation was shocked to hear actor Alec Baldwin shot and killed his cinematographer in a film mishap on the set of the movie Rust in New Mexico. The investigation into why real bullets were used continues.
I'm honestly just devastated, and I could never imagine anything like this just happening.
The investigation also continues in the deadly crowd surge at the Astroworld Music Festival in Texas. 9 people dead and dozens injured in the crush during a performance by festival headliner Travis Scott. Late this year, a horrible school shooting in Michigan that many think could have been prevented. A 15-year-old opening fire on classmates with an assault rifle, killing 4 and injuring more. His parents also under arrest, and school officials answering tough questions as to why his pattern of troubling behavior was not dealt with more firmly. It was another year of global warming on display, wildfires devastating the bone-dry West. Hurricanes dumping massive flooding rains, especially in the Gulf Coast states. None more powerful than Hurricane Ida, which slammed Louisiana. More than 100 lives lost, $65 billion in damage.
The water rushed through this house and that house there, washed everything out.
Tornadoes devastating larger parts of the nation. None worse than December's massive twisters that leveled parts of Kentucky. Approaching 100 lives lost, 100 structures wiped out. 2021 was also the year where we first heard of murder hornets and saw billions of cicadas invade parts of the eastern seaboard. It was a year of economic turmoil, government stimulus checks, worker shortages, high inflation and supply chain disruptions, massive numbers of cargo ships waiting offshore and containers piling up at ports. 2021 saw the signing of President Biden's massive $1.9 trillion COVID stimulus relief bill. It saw ongoing court challenges to Roe v. Wade and restrictions in some states to abortion rights. But far and away, 2021 begins and ends with the coronavirus. The Omicron variant hitting hard at year's end, threatening all the gains we've made. We're still wearing masks, still doing Zoom meetings, still struggling to get vaccines and boosters into arms. Vaccine mandates and court challenges continue to divide us. 2021 has been a seesaw battle between increasing normalcy and setbacks. We will say goodbye to 2021 with COVID fatigue, but optimism that 2022 will be brighter for us all. John Muller, Pix 11 News.